What's up, guys? Zach Reininger. Today we're going to do a little video, and we're going to do something different. We're going to play another video, and we're going to make some comments on it, because there's a video that I saw that does a really good job, in my opinion, of kind of nailing a few things that we've talked about quite a bit, and I think it's nice for you to hear it from someone else. As you can see, I am channeling my inner Joe Rogan today with my headphones, but I hate to say it, your boy is good at a lot of things, but being an audio engineer and figuring out all the technology here has been way more humbling than I anticipated, and it took a lot of work to try to figure out how I could talk to you and play a video that you could hear at the same time. Turns out these are the key. That's how we made it work. So that's why it looks a little different today, and we're going to jump into it. So the video we're watching today is something that Josh the RV Nerd put out. And if you don't know Josh or what he puts out, I'm a fan. Josh, if you watch this, Josh, first of all, thank you for watching, but you do a great job, man. Josh works at a dealership in Michigan. They were bought out by Bish's RV, who's becoming a big chain out there last year, I believe, sometime. But Josh, I got to give him a hat tip, because he does an incredible job of not only being extremely consistent with his videos. He's always putting out content, which I think is great. But he takes really good care of the customer. He shoots customers straight. He's a great resource for it. He calls out the industry just how he sees it with data and like what he's being told. He doesn't sugarcoat things. I think he's just a very genuine individual on the videos. But Josh is also entertaining. He's kind of goofy and like he's got this fun sense of humor. He's definitely self-deprecating, and he just does a good job. So Josh, keep it up, man. You're doing an awesome job. And if you guys don't follow Josh or don't watch any of his videos, I highly recommend it. I think he does a really wonderful job of this. And I'll link the video that I'm going to review here in the notes below, so you can actually access it if you'd like to watch the whole thing. It's about almost 40 minutes, but it's broken up into chapters. So we're only going to touch on a couple of things that he talked about, because I think it's good for you to hear it from someone else. So let's jump over there. Let's check out what Josh has to say. Oh, COVID convenience brands. Man, almost sounds like we might have talked about something like this before.
They are basically gumming up the works, and they've got dealers into a situation where they can't necessarily bring back in their primary core models and brands, because there's this other stuff they picked up in the meantime during COVID. If you missed that little segment, basically...
Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it?
The Cliff Notes version here, when the market exploded and many dealerships ran out of inventory. This doesn't apply to every single dealership, but it applies to more of them than it doesn't. A lot of dealerships virtually ran out of inventory, and they went scrambling, trying to talk to any and every brand and sign up anything and everything that they possibly could just to have anything in stock. And a lot of these are brands they never would have considered before, but it gave them something on the shelf to stock while all the other stuff was being built and already sold out. So what's happening right now is a lot of that stuff, it doesn't turn as slow, it doesn't sell quickly, it doesn't sell as quickly, and it was already on the RV dealership lots. Well, it's taking time for that stuff to cycle through now that the more primary core inventory is laying on top of it.
Interesting to me. Notice where he stopped, where he talked about primary core inventory. Look at that Rockwood right there, a little Rockwood Flagstaff love. Sure, that was intentional, right, Josh? Guys, like, this is not a shock to you or to me, right? That the lower tier brands, the ones that don't build as good a quality, don't have the reputation, don't take care of their customers as well, aren't selling as much. And like we're all aware of, most dealers have too much of the wrong stuff, and they can't bring in enough of the right stuff. And until they move that other stuff, they can't bring that stuff in. So it's a real interesting time in the industry, because we got to be able to get out of the other inventory that we're not stocking anymore in order to bring in the good stuff. And I think Josh does a good job of explaining that to the retail customer, because that's who he's facing. He's talking to the retail customer so they can understand what's happening out there. And this is a real hurdle for our industry. You guys all know that very well. You're dealing with it daily. And I think it's going to continue to challenge our business. I've talked a lot about this for the last 6 months or so, that I thought it was going to be a very cold, dark winter for the manufacturing side. For our side of the business, I thought it was going to be an extremely tough winter. And that's what's happening. You have a lot of companies, a lot of brands that are doing extended shutdowns. They're not running through December like they normally would have. They took longer time off in the summer. I've even heard some brands that are taking 2 months off around Christmas and not running again until February. So this all ties back into the video I just did last week about what's going on in the industry and why I'm seeing this massive pullback on the manufacturing side and why that's a positive, because it's going to buy time. It's going to buy time for the dealers to be able to unwind all this other stuff that's on their lot that they're not keeping, that doesn't work. So it's going to allow that equilibrium to come back where it's all going to bounce out. It's going to be some pain for our side of the business when you're closing these plants. People aren't working. Like, it's not positive, but it's going to be a net positive for the consumer, okay? Because that consumer is going to benefit, because this is going to force our industry to get better, to compete again, to improve quality, to build better products so that you as a dealer or those retail customers will start buying those products again. It's going to incentivize the manufacturers to get better to meet the needs of the market. So that's a net positive for our customers. And what is positive for our customers is positive for us. That's the key. We want our customers to be happy. It's not rocket science, right? Like, sometimes you look at our industry and you're like, why would you continue to do this? Why would you keep building stuff like that? Why don't you get better? And this is going to be something that drives that of, it's a wake-up call in a sense. Now, something along the lines of talking about the consumers, I wanted to touch on something else that he mentions in this video. And this is, he starts to talk about demographics. And I think this is really interesting because we all have our own preconceived notions of what a RV customer is. And let's see if Josh can shake that up for us a little bit.
To just an incredible degree. The baby boomer generation still makes a significant portion of the RV market, occupying about 22% of the buyer base. But interestingly, Generation X has actually overtaken them, representing about 31% of the current RV buying market. But not to be outdone, the millennial age bracket is now the single largest demographic or group of RV buyers out there, representing about 38% of the new RV purchases that are out there. And
how about that, guys? You've got, your typical, when you picture an RV customer, a lot of us automatically think of mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, they're retired, the kids are gone, and they just want to travel and that whole deal, right? Like, the data shows different. And I think it's incredibly fascinating to look at this information, because now between the Gen X and the millennials, you have almost 70% of the buyers based right there. But when you look at almost 40% of the buyers are millennials, guys, how cool. I think that's freaking awesome. Now, a lot of people think, millennials, they're entitled, they're this, they're that. I don't know, guys. That's probably a topic for another video. But what I know is that the millennials they're the largest generation in the history of our country, larger than the baby boomers. There are more of them. Okay, they're representing 40% almost of our business. Why is that a positive? Why is that good, Zach? What are you talking about? Well, it's a positive for a couple of things. One, the demographics are working in our favor, right? Like what we're seeing with millennials, they're adopting the RV lifestyle at a younger age than ever before as far as our customers. And that means they're going to be in our family for much longer. Like, it's great for our industry. But the other thing is, guys, millennials have different standards. Okay. And I talk about standards a lot. I believe that we all need to raise our standards. That's a whole other conversation again. But the standards of the millennial buyer are different than the rest of the buyers. They have higher standards. They expect more on quality. They expect to be treated differently. They want to communicate differently. They want things to be quicker. They want to move faster. They want the decisions to be done and not have the barriers to entry. If something goes wrong, they want it addressed quickly. They want to be communicated with when it's going wrong. Why is it going wrong? What are you doing to handle it? So what does that mean? That means that this demographic shift is going to drive innovation. It is going to drive quality. It is going to drive massive amounts of improvement in our industry from the manufacturers, from the suppliers. We all have to get better to meet the needs of that new consumer. And that's powerful. I think that's so incredibly good for our industry. Between things pulling back and, the participation trophy that I talk about, that's gone. It's over. So you better step your game up if you want to be a part of this anymore moving forward. That's good for the consumer. But now the consumer's demanding more. And so we're going to have to step up. We're going to have to build better quality. We're going to have to take better care of our customers. We're going to have to treat them better. Okay, they're not a commodity. They're way too important. And I talk about that a lot as well. We've got to take more time taking care of our customers, and those that do it are winning. So that's a huge deal. This is all going to drive massive amounts of change for our industry. And this is why I'm so bullish the next 5, 10, 15 years for what our industry is going to do. We had so much growth during COVID, but what that growth was, we were already organically growing grassroots, right? Like we were growing as an industry bigger and better and better and better. COVID brought forward probably 4 or 5 years worth of growth, brought these families and these people into our business. And that's a massive opportunity for us to take care of them, to continue to keep them in our family and to grow with them and grow with their families. And that's huge for what we do. You know, we talk about it here a lot. Like we sell dreams, guys. We sell adventures with their families. We sell like truly like the American dream of like go do with your family, be independent, go where you want, when you want, take your family with you and have fun, make memories. It's the coolest business in the world. And this is going to drive us to get better. And so while, you know, the winter might be dark for manufacturers and it might be hard right now, and this year might be a challenge. And yes, there's 2022s and there's all these different things that we're going to be navigating through. Net, the positive coming out of all of this is our industry is going to come out of this better. We're going to build better product. We're going to be positioned better. We're going to take better care of the customers, which means we're going to have more growth, more longevity, and just a better industry overall. So I can't talk enough about how positive I am about the long-term prospects for our industry. Where we're at, again, there's going to be challenges for a lot of people in this right now. And the people that won't adapt, won't get better, won't take care of their customers, won't improve their product, they're going to get eaten alive. And so, Josh, you did a great job, man. I love it. I'd love to talk to you sometime. I think you do great videos. You guys need to go follow Josh. I think he puts out good information. He kind of gives a masterclass in how to engage in long-form content and keep people's eyeballs on there and what he's doing. He does a great job. The other side is, if you need help, if you need connected to a different sales trainer, a different finance company, if you want different floor planning or insurance, or you're not sure what you should do here or there, reach out to me. Let me help you guys. Whether you're my customer or not, I don't care. I'll help you. I'll help everybody in this industry. So if you need something, please reach out to me. Find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube. Send me a message. I'm always happy to help you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, share it with anybody. Anything like that helps get a little bit of traction because I'm really trying to help everybody here. And I think our industry needs it. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys soon.